Welcome back. We are in woodworking mode, making our kitchen cabinet for the bus project out of our rare Pallet wood. So this is just the panels assembled. They are glued and brad nailed with an air nailer. Had it all fitted up inside to figure out exactly how big I needed it. So it's going to be 34 inches wide. These are just sitting here by gravity right now, standing up. I have them upside down, and then we'll fit it back in the bus to make sure it's going where we need to go. We got the supports for the bed frames built in. The middle section here is going to be removable. So actually when I'm working on the rest of it, you can get stuff in and out of the back door easily. We're going to have boards that go across, span the distance here, either plywood or individual boards, bunky board style, we'll see. All of this has been bolted to the side of the bus through the ribs and screwed together and screwed down to the floor. There's going to be some brackets that I'll eventually put onto to reinforce it some more. I recycled all the wood. That was the Sunbug body lift, what's left of it. And the rest of the 2x4s came from a big shipping crate that I disassembled at work. So far I have bought absolutely no lumber. So if you've guessed it by now, I am extremely cheap. I can't afford not to be cheap. This job will be done on a really tight budget. I did buy my refrigerator. That's sitting where it needs to be right now. And the kitchen cabinet will be in the middle there. I got a stove to go into it because New York requires you have a stove. Okay, here's our kitchen all mocked up. It's got to come back out, get sanded and varnished. But as you could see, I am not doing drawers. I am doing canvas baskets. So, see here, another one over there. I got to put the shelf still in. The refrigerator is mounted up on the box where it needs to be. Underneath the box is the 12-volt battery that's going to be powered by the solar panels. And the fuse box is going to mount underneath the passenger seat over there. The 110-volt fuse box and the 12-volt fuse box. The sink was given to me by a friend who heard I was building this. I had to buy the faucet and I had to buy the stovetop. And the countertop is a TV stand that came from a friend of mine also. I got a little small backsplash that I'm going to attach to it. It goes right over here. That'll be the last. This thing's all going to come out right now and paint it up or varnished up, and then we can put it back in. Okay, we got the cabinet back out. Got it all sanded down, and we are going to give it a coat of varnish. We are working on the simplest potable water system that I could design. Here we go. Tank to a valve to a pump to an outlet to a T up to the faucet. So we need to put an external access port to fill the tank. So we needed to cut a hole. Wasn't sure if there was going to be anything on the outside before I cut it. So actually this I just cut with a utility knife. Cut it down. So that's right to the outside skin, which is aluminum over there. So we will get the final dimensions on this. And we'll cut a nice clean hole, probably with the jigsaw on the outside. Ended up using a cutoff wheel and an air grinder to cut the hole. Now we have a nice snug fit. The edge of the hole is really close to where the screws need to go in, so you got to be really careful to get it close to where you need, otherwise you have nothing to screw to. So nice snug fit with a little grind around the edge. Got to trim some of the insulation out, and then we have access to everything inside. How convenient. Well, here we are fully installed. The TV stand countertop was cut off over here, so that was just touched up with brown paint to match. I left the factory finish that was on it. The front edge became the backsplash. That was attached with some screws and glued, and then everything was polyurethaned over one more time along with the whole cabinet itself. So the holes were from where this came out of the pallet wood, using the coring bit to separate them all. The switch I ended up getting from a RV that I stripped for some parts, along with the water pump down there. So the pump is wired up, running off one switch. We recycled some seat belts, which I have a ton of them left over to hold our water tank in place. And we have a clear plastic hose we got from the home improvement store. The other tubing I had floating around, it came out of the other RV I stripped. And we used a piece of white hose. That's our drain line. So we don't have a trap. We're just dumping it out on the ground for now. Baskets pop out. If you want to get something out of them, plop them up on the countertop. Very simple. And these cabinets cost me next to nothing other than some brad nails, glue, and varnish. Maybe I got about $4.95 invested. Fridge is sitting on the box that it was made for. Same thing, recycled a seat belt to hold it in place. It's strapped in there really good, has a little edge on the front to keep it from sliding. The belt's attached inside and attached to the frame of the bus on the side and strapped in. So that also doubles as countertop space over here. And the stove, when you're not using it, use as countertop too. That right now, I have a hose hooked up and we're running it on a small little 1 pound cylinder that's going to sit back under there. So, had to modify the top a little bit for, it's really mounted sideways. Took out that one wing that was on this side, so you could use the stove standing in this direction. And the orange foam is just to keep it from rattling around when you drive. Sink is on a pressure switch, and like I said, you got cold and cold. Your choice. Oh, the faucet also switched to a sprayer. So, a shower head kind of. And if you really want to, haven't tried it yet because the window doesn't open all the way, but you could spin your faucet around, hang it out the window, and use it for a shower. So, after going to the beach, you want to take a quick rinse off. There you go. Stand outside and rinse yourself off. I made some brackets out of sheet steel where that's attached to the frame of the bus there, down into the floor, and then the rest of the cabinet's attached to the back of the bed frame, and there's also some brackets inside the box, and that's where our battery for the solar panel is hidden in there too, under the refrigerator. So it's in here solid, isn't going anyplace. So this is what a pallet wood kitchen looks like. Really cheap, very economical. Now, and here's a sneak peek at the paint scheme my daughter's going to be doing. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Hey, who left this here? Finders keepers.